Happy December. So, for this month to be, that sounds off if you could hear it. For this month to be read list, I've only chosen 3 books because I am a healthcare student, so I understand that that's going to be taking up a lot of my time. However, I chose this book. It's by Jefferson Bass, New York's best-selling author. Identity Crisis: The Murder, the Mystery, and the Missing DNA. This is small. You could read this in like a day or two. It's $3.99, so very affordable. It's in 1978. 56-year-old Leoma Patterson left a bar in Clinton, Tennessee, and was never seen again. 6 months later, a female skeleton was found on a wooded lakeshore in a neighboring county. The bones were consistent with those of the missing woman and one of Patterson's daughters, who recognized the ring found at the death scene as her mother's. The bones were buried, and 6 years later, a relative of Patterson's, one of the men she was last seen alive with, confessed to killing her. Case closed. But the tentative identification made years before DNA testing was available to confirm it failed to convince some of Patterson's relatives. And so it was that in 2005, Dr. Bass found himself winding around hairpin curves to the mountainside grave where he would unearth the disputed remains and collect DNA samples. The forensic twists and turns that followed would test the limits of DNA technology and of Dr. Bass's half-century of forensic knowledge. Published by William Morrow. Seems good. I have this other true crime book, Teen Obsession, Dangerous Games. I'd Kill for You, by New York Times bestselling author M. William Phelps, star of Investigation Discovery Dark Minds. Phelps is the Harlan Coben of real-life thrillers. Oh, that guy. That guy's recognizable if you watch true crime. One of America's finest true crime writers. After her mother's untimely death, Clara Schwartz became distant, withdrawn. Her father, a renowned DNA researcher, lived in a farmhouse outside Leesburg, Virginia, where in December 2001 he was fatally stabbed by what seemed to be a ninja-style sword. Police arrested Kyle Holbert, a troubled teen, and aspiring vampire. Kyle was Clara's friend, one of a circle obsessed with role-playing games. Drawing on exclusive interviews with the killer, best-selling author M. William Phelps reveals a frightening subculture, the tragic collision of two young people's dark worlds and its deadly consequences. Includes 16 pages of dramatic photos. This one in the US is also $7.99, so it's very affordable. This is true crime, so this person actually killed the guy. So you have photos. There you go. So, seems like a good read. I really like true crime. And then there's this one. This one isn't true crime, finally, but it's cute. It's a romance novel by Susan Mallory, #1 New York Times best-selling author of the Fool's Gold romances. It's a brand new story called Not Quite Over You Happily, Inc. Suzanne Mallory, #1 New York Times bestselling author of the Fool's Gold romances, proves there's nowhere better than Happily Inc. to rekindle first love. Silver Testo has a head for business and a mouth made for kissing, and banker Drew Lovato has his eye on both. But ever since he was dumb enough to let her go, she kept him at a distance. When the bank turns her down for a loan, Drew sees a double opportunity. He can finance her brilliant, unique idea to rock Happily Inc.'s wedding industry and win back her trust. Despite her reputation, Silver's not as tough as she seems. Losing Drew nearly destroyed her. Still, his kisses are as tempting as his offer to invest in a business. If she can't quite get over him. Maybe she could get under him and knock him out of her system once and for all. But her best laid plans began to unravel as Silver finds herself falling even harder than they were in high school. Sweetheart, which means that she'll have to come clean about the secret that she's been hiding from him for years and exposing him forever. HQ1 Books.